Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Obi-Wan has just premiered this weekend. I'm really excited. I saw the first two episodes. They are phenomenal. I'd love to do some videos with some props from the show and how they relate to the Galaxy's Edge stuff and what that marketing clearly was designed to do. I may get to it at some point during the series, but right now I want to show you guys something kind of cool. I've come into possession of a new Black Series, what I'm referring to as the Book of Boba Fett helmet. It was obviously based on the way the helmet was repainted in one of the episodes of Mando Season 2, but as it was the predominant look that was through the Book of Boba Fett, it's just easier to call it BOBF helmet. So we're going to take a look at that, and we're going to compare it to a lineage cast helmet that I have, which I have not yet done anything. It's a raw cast, so we're going to get to see how close Black Series is and what sort of mods they make. So we're going to check that out like right now. We're just going to dive right into it. You guys were really a big fan of the Ruby Supreme versus the Black Series video that I did. So I'm going to do another one. So hopefully the people who got a kick out of that video will get something out of this one too. Let's check it out. All right, so here are the two helmets. Let's come down here. So over here, we've got the Book of Boba Fett helmet, and as I refer to it, it is a Black Series. It is multiple parts. It does have lights and sounds. So it has a viewfinder, which is really cool, and blinking lights, which I dig. It's just a cool little thing. I don't care if you ever do it, but it's cool that they do it. So the paint job leaves something to be desired, and this is something that I'll probably touch up myself at some point, just to get it a little bit more in line with what I'm looking for. But as you can see, there are some textures. Let's see if I can sharpen that just a wee bit. Doesn't want to. So there are some textures in the helmet. As far as I know, this is the same sculpt as the ESB Black Series they use. And this one I don't have on a Lazy Susan, because it's not as rare as the other one. The other one I have on a Lazy Susan. I'll show you why in a minute. Oh, there we go. There's some sharpness. So you can see that there is some, this is depressed here, and so there are some details in the molding and whatnot. There is some weathering on it as well. Overall, I think it's a really nice buy. If you are looking for a display Boba helmet, it's vented in the back, which is kind of cool. This is pretty cool. I thought about getting an ESB, but since I have a lineage helmet, I'm much happier with the Book of Boba Fett. I even entertained painting my lineage helmet as Book of Boba Fett. But you can see that detail. And then my favorite part is the inside contains plastic molded, hard and soft padding. So it kind of has the details of an inner helmet thing, which is just really cool. So I love that. So this is an absolute win to pick up if you can get it. But how does it compare to a lineage casting? So, I'm going to sit. So those of you guys who know, the lineage to this is the Prepro 2. Well, I mean, this should tell you everything you need to know. If you're watching this and you're a Boba Fett person, that tells you everything you need to know. Without going into too much history, it is a reworked recast of a Prepro 2. So the details match Prepro 2. So again, as we go in here, we have a lot of the lineage markings from the helmet. And the venting is there as well. And we've got our back set up here. So the real question is, how does this measure up? Some of you may be wondering, well, where are the other parts to it? Well, they're here. And everything that this helmet requires was given to me. It's glorious. So we're going to take a look at it. So I'm going to pull some parts out. Let's take a look. So first of all, we've got a big old cold cast or aluminum cast piece there. This is the innards of what goes behind the venting in the helmet, which is not included in the Black Series. So this is like a cool little extra piece that comes with that. And then we have the viewfinder and things. So like here's the lens for the viewfinder. So that's kind of fun. And where's the headpiece here? It's in here. This is the headpiece that we just saw, which is going to have the plastic piece in it, and it's got the 2 lights, and it doesn't have the slide-out bit, so it's really mostly just going to be displayed in an upright position. It's got this cap. So if we spin this cap is this cap. So how does that measure up? As you can see, it's almost the exact same shape, actually. It's pretty close. Thickness, however, that's going to vary. So if we look at how thick this is going in here, and then we look at this thickness, you can see this piece is a lot thicker. We bring it out over to here, this catches on like this. That profile is much thinner than that profile. So this sticks out a good deal more than the Lineage, but not by much. And I think that's the big gripe most people have. Now, obviously, the detail is not the same on these two, but they're not actually supposed to be the same helmet. If anything, this is supposed to be more in line with what we have for Return of the Jedi, whereas this is ESB Prepro 2. The other one is obviously the big nicks in the front. These are still part of what this is. So here they don't have that, but a lot of the additional paint texture that he painted over, this should be in alignment with a lot of the degrading from the ESB or the ROTJ look when he came out of the Sarlacc, and then it was painted over that. So they have that sort of been painted over a bunch look, which I do like. We look on the side here, that side piece versus that side piece. They look about the same. And what's really cool about this helmet is overall, the profile is extremely close. You put them right next to each other. It's very close. So overall, I mean, for a $100, $150 helmet that this thing retails for, that's pretty solid, man. I think you'd be hard-pressed to do better than that online. You're not going to get something for $150 that's that close. And if you're going to spend more than that, $300, $350 on a helmet, you're really doing it because you want the most accurate thing in the world, and you want it to like the T, and that's when you invest in like a Nix Props, for example, NIX, who, in my opinion, does the best boba paint jobs on the planet. But even the subtle weathering that they put in, for mass market, that's pretty friggin' good. And they put some silver in there, so we're going to go in and up the silver value. We're going to go in and put some, bring it right to the edges like it's supposed to. We'll get just like a Molotov pen or something and do that. But like even up here, this is right on the corner where you want it. That kind of weathering, like it looks great. I'm super happy with it. I seriously give the damn thing a 10 out of 10 as far as a prop investment. To me, you buy that, you stick it on your shelf. With the exception of this whole setup and the electronic piece, it's screen ready, man. It's ready to rock. It looks good. It photographs really well. Why invest the massive amount of, 3 times or more into this? Because at the end of the day, when you're done, you have pretty much the same thing Jeremy was wearing. I mean, that's why you buy one of these. That's why you invest in one of these. I was given this as a gift, and I'm honestly, because it has Lineage, I'm too much of a pussy to go in and paint it. I do have some of the paints for it. I'm so terrified to mess it up. I'm trying to convince myself to send it over to Nix and let him paint it up for me, so that I have a proper ESB or a proper Prepro, depending on which version I go to. But honestly, I think I'm going to have him do ESB. But I really think they nailed it with this. I have not seen the ESB in person. I'll be honest with you, I'm such a fan of Tamora Morrison as Boba Fett, and really I'm just a fan of Tamora Morrison in general. I really wanted his helmet. I liked his story. I liked the evolution of Boba Fett, where he got out of the Sarlacc and he just basically said, fuck it, I'm done with it. I want to be something else. I really enjoyed how much of the Maori culture he brought into Boba Fett and with the Tusken Raiders. I just had zero issues with Book of Boba Fett. I was absolutely in love with that series. I was in love with everything, all the acting choices and the directing choices. I'm a huge Robert Rodriguez fan, so I was like a kid in a candy store with the Book of Boba Fett, because I had one of my favorite actors, one of my favorite female actors as well, in Ming-Na Wen, but also one of my favorite directors. And it's, Filoni and Favreau's sandbox to play in. So, I mean, when Kathy Kennedy just lets the artists do whatever they want, she is not messing around. She means it. Like, go do you. And whole show just reeked of Robert Rodriguez in the best way possible. If you're not into that, then no worries. I mean, that's not your cup of tea, but that's kind of the beauty of the variety of television. You do everything a little different, and you're bound to land on one that you really like. But I loved the Book of Boba Fett. And so, to me, this is a great, great prop to add to my stack of helmets. So the comparison, I mean, if you want to get down, like, literally to measuring distances, we can do that really quick. Let's go over to my very messy workbench, grab my T-square. Currently working on an Ewok squirrel from Evil Dead 2 for my group. So let's take a look just on the visor. So at its thickest point here, it's just shy of an inch. So if we really get in there, it's not really light. You can't see the light. So it's just about shy of an inch. If you go over to here, the helmet slit looks to be much narrower. And I think this is a big sticking point with a lot of boba people. Yeah, look at that. That is almost an eighth of an inch narrower than it is here. So whereas I do think it looks great, you could argue that the view area is increased in size. And that's for obvious reasons. When they want people to wear it, they want them to be able to friggin' see. And if you've ever worn a real boba helmet, which I have, you can't see shit. It's very, very dangerous. Hi, buddy. Hey, man. Here's a puppy. So that's a little different. Let's check the width. Let's just measure. Put the 6 there to the... So it's 1 3/4. 1 3/4. So the width is the same. How long is it from top to bottom? It goes to about 5.5. Let's pull this out here. Does this go down to about 5.5? Little bigger than 5.5. So length top to bottom a little longer. Width is the same. Length here is a little longer. I believe what you're making up for here, so that would make this from top to bottom, that should make this almost a half an inch bigger. So this is going to be, what, 7 1/4? And then here is going to be, 6 3/4. So the length, top to bottom of face, the squishedness of the boba bucket, that is lineage, from here to here, that's 6 3/4, whereas this is 7 1/4. So you got an extra half inch on the Black Series. So that's something that I think is a factor for people. That's the kind of thing where they're like, well, that's, a half inch difference. That's a big difference. So let's put this back. If you don't have a T-square, even if you don't do paper props, they're really useful. Jay and Silent Bob thing. So again, there is, like I said, it's pretty close, but if you really want that squished and wide look from ESB, the Lineage helmets have that. Whereas this, much longer. Now, what we don't know is, did they change the proportions for Book of Boba Fett? That we don't know. So that's what's kind of cool about that. So overall, I really like the Book of Boba Fett helmet. It is very comfortable. And so it's a little bit wide, but my head is wide, not this is wide. So it's hard to get it around my big fat head. But even this, on my noggin, it's hard for me to see out of. I really have to bring it down to here and have this kind of profile. Also, with the venting, the screen does fog. So unless you put defogger on it or something, you're going to fog up. But, you can drop that down. You can pop the viewfinder. It's really cool. I very much enjoy it. I think it's a really good buy. You can see on the inside it's got the vocalizer and things like that. You can wear it with, oh dear, one of these guys. I have one of these for my Kylo Ren. These are one of these cheap ones, because honestly, the cheaper ones with the mono connecting microphones sound more like Kylo Ren than the expensive ones. So I do enjoy that. But if you don't have these crap headphones, this is an inner helmet headphone, and you want to get the condenser like right on your mouth. So you want to set this up so it's like right on you. Put it back here. So this is like right on top of this, and then you turn this sucker on. somewhere. And you get the default. So let's see here. Oh, dear. See, if I pop this off, you can actually see where the microphone is. So that's the microphone. Let's pop this up. Check 1, 2. Oh, it's not working. You know why it's not working? I didn't plug it in. I'm going to leave that in the video. That's hysterical. So it's super high voice right now. Pop it down. So now you get loud. We don't need it that loud. So if you pop it down, you don't get as much. Let's just put the windscreen back on. I'm not like a windscreen whore, but we'll leave it off for now. I don't feel like messing with it. But if you attach this to your face, you do get that sort of Pico 421, learn to at your post. And if you go down a notch, you start to get more of Kylo Ren. And if I pull myself off camera, you do get a little bit more of that. And you go down lower. But then don't drop your voice, raise your voice. So I like the fuzziness of these things. They do kind of work, and they're a lot of fun. So you could put one of these on inside the helmet and get a little bit of your Boba Fett going. Just don't use the voice dropper. But I like them. They're super cheap. You get them out of China. I've seen people do setups with iPhones and stuff that are just really cool. But this works plenty for what I like. I mostly use it for my Kylo Ren. But it's a lot of fun, and you can put one of these inside and get the Boba Fett thing going. What you're really looking for is something that just takes the waveform, doubles it, and staggers it slightly, and that will create that sort of high pass effect that gives you that sort of microphone-y sound. Mono mics work really well for that, not stereo mics, but either one would do it. But so there's a lot of different ways you could set yourself up to do it. That was really funny when I didn't have the thing plugged in. I'm totally leaving that in the video. But yeah, this was like I said, this is a SDX205A. If you just search Kylo Ren voice changer, it pops up. I got it out of China. Pretty cool. So overall, the helmets comparable, but major differences, particularly in some size and scaling. Hopefully that was a little helpful to you. But like I said, you get about an extra ½ inch of length out of the Black Series helmets, but it's the same amount of width. So I think that will dial in for people whether or not this is an investment they want to make. But if you can get one for retail price, it's worth it, man. It's a nice looking helmet. I think the Black Series has been really cool in how it's selectively doing its electronics. So it's not just a helmet or a display piece. It does have some effects. My Vader is still my favorite, even though the sculpture is way off, as you saw in my previous video that I did. The Black Series is just something that will display cool. You can repaint it, and that will look cool and make it very a la Episode 3 or a la Return of the Jedi. And it doesn't look great on a Vader costume, but it looks great anyway. I have some other helmets that I have since acquired since the last time I did a video on my Star Wars stuff, so I plan on showing some more of those videos as well. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at with the helmets and the display. And hopefully, looking at those two comparisons, you'll decide whether or not a Black Series is an investment you want to make. But I am thumbing up the Book of Boba Fett helmet. I think it's a great helmet and definitely worth putting on your display or throwing on your cosplay. It's a win either way. It's a great paint job. It's got texture to it. It doesn't just look like a plastic helmet. It's got some meat to it. So I think it's a good buy. Hopefully, it helps you out. Thanks for hanging out and checking out the video. If you want a voice changer, like I said, just go online. It's a Kylo voice changer. It's just a voice activator. And it goes in one direction with the push button. But there are tons of solutions for that. Way more expensive solutions. But you know me, I'm not invested in all that for a fun thing. I'll do it cheap. And it works just fine. So thanks a lot, guys. And we'll see you next time for some Doctor Strange stuff.